Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, September 8th, 2025, and the time now is 6 p.m., and I will call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023, by Resolution Number 21-R-2023, remote participation will be allowed. The meeting link has been provided on the town's website and designating posting place 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings and public hearings. The guidelines are available online and on the entry table. There are 2 public comment opportunities on the agenda for persons in attendance at Town Hall to address the board. The first is limited to items on the agenda. The second public comment opportunity allows any subject, whether it is on the agenda or not, to be addressed. If you have comments regarding the public hearing, comments will be taken during that item. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Here.
Trustee Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Crane.
Here.
Trustee Hagan.
Here.
Trustee Schranz.
Here.
Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, September 8th, 2025, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you, Mary. Please join me in a moment of silence for this country's founding fathers who fought for our country and created the Constitution. Thank you very much for your time. Please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next is review and approve agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. We have an agenda for this evening. Next will be our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Trustees, you have my report. I just have a couple of items to add. Just as a reminder, the Citizens Academy starts on Thursday. We have about 9 applicants that are planning to go through the academy. And if anybody else wants to jump in, I think we still have a little bit of space. So that starts Thursday. Don't forget, Community Day is this Saturday. Everything starts at about 4. You'll see several booths. One booth for the town will be manned by Colin and the post team for our Trails Master Plan that we're working on. And then there are several other booths. I believe we have 40 or 50 booths this year. So pretty excited for Community Day and hoping for good weather, not too hot. And then finally, I asked Erica if she would jump up and talk to you a little bit about the intersection. I touched on it on my weekly email, but we wanted to talk about the intersection of Welker and 3rd.
Thank you. Good evening. As Helen mentioned, we are behind schedule on the 3rd and Welker project. That was the contract completion date was the end of September, which obviously we're not going to meet. There's 2 primary reasons for that. We did have a number of utility conflicts early on that were unknown at the time of design, so it took some time to resolve those. And the other is really related to the manpower and equipment that our contractor has committed to this job site. So we're certainly doing our best to guide the contractor to a path of recovery. And at this point, we're looking at a completion date probably after the first of the year. I did want to also mention, just since we're talking about some delays, the other project, the I-25 roundabouts at I-25, CDOT's informed us that they don't expect to actually construct those until 2027, and that is related to a delay due to utility conflicts with the Little Thompson Water District. So the intersection would still function today, like it does today, until such time that they get that resolved and can start construction of the roundabouts. So happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Helen or Erica?
Do we have any recourse with the contractor not providing enough resources to the project to get it complete? I mean, I get the utility thing that was beyond their control. Understand. Same with like weather and stuff. But this is just them dropping the ball. Do we not have any kind of recourse or anything that we can do?
Yeah, so we're not allowed to direct their means and methods, right? I can't tell them to bring more people here. But we do have some, they are obligated contractually, right, to that completion date, and there is a penalty if they don't meet that date. It's $2,500 a day.
Oh, so if they don't complete this by September 30th and they take another, let's see, October, November, December, 3 months, we're going to make $2,500 a day for all 3 of those months?
Well, some of that will be the utility conflict, which wasn't their fault,
Okay.
right? So it'll be something less than that, but yeah, it's a significant amount.
Okay, well, that's better than nothing.
Trustee Hagan?
Similar, I was going to ask a similar question, so I just wanted to, that's quite an extension of time, 3 months.
Get a little bit, but.
I think, what was the original project construction period? Was it 3 months?
No, we started in, I don't remember when we started exactly. I'm sorry? Started in February. Yeah, their notice to
6
proceed
months.
was in early January, so I think it was a 9-month window.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, Erica. Thank you, Helen. Okay, we'll move on to our proclamation tonight. It's Constitution Week, September 17th through the 23rd, and I've asked Trustee Crane to read the proclamation. Sir?
All right. Proclamation, Constitution Week, September 17th through the 23rd, 2025. Whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas during Constitution Week, the town of Mead and the entire nation reflects on the significance of our Constitution and gives thanks for the blessings of liberty that this document helps to secure. We honor the men and women who have supported and defended it throughout our history, at times with their lives. Now, therefore, Colleen Whitlow, by virtue of the authority vested in her as mayor of the town of Mead, Colorado, do hereby proclaim this week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and asks our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained.
Thank you, sir, very much for reading the proclamation. Is there a motion to approve the signing of the proclamation?
I move to approve the signing of the proclamation.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Tonight, we invite the Daughters of the American Revolution who are here in the audience to come up and have a photo with the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
You can take a photo.
There's quite a few options. They all look great. Mary,
I don't know where your stamp is.
it's in my drawer. Do you want me to go get it?
Yeah. I gave you my pen. Marisol's getting the stamp.
Thank you.
If you get a chance during the presentation, well, probably not during the presentation. Maybe during the liquor thing.
Thank you, everyone. The Daughters of American Revolution had been here quite some time, and every year they stop by for Constitution Week with the Board of Trustees. We'll move on to our public comment. The board welcomes public comment at this time for any item on the agenda. If you wish to comment regarding either of tonight's public hearings, comment will be taken during those matters. In addition, there will be a second public comment opportunity, item number 12, where we will take comments on items that are not on the agenda. Please remember that public comment is not intended to be question and answer session. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. All comments should be directed to the Board of Trustees and not to specific individuals. If you wish to speak during this first public comment period, please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Please start by stating your full name and address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Trustees. If you are representing a group, you will have 5 minutes. Please, we ask that all speakers and audience members treat one another with respect and dignity. Let's ensure we maintain a welcoming environment and avoid any actions that could be distracting. Ms. Strutt, do we have anyone signed up for this public comment?
Not for this one, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak to the Board of Trustees on an item that's on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and are approved with one motion and vote. I want to recognize staff for putting together these items and the board for reviewing them ahead of tonight's meeting. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
I
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion passes on the consent agenda. We will now move on to our Mead Liquor Licensing Authority. We need to make a motion to close out the Board of Trustees meeting and convene as the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority. Will someone please make that motion?
Marcus, is this the point at which I should excuse myself or after it actually opens?
Let's do it after it opens.
Okay.
I move to close the current meeting and reopen the Mead Liquor Authority. Second.
Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. We are now in the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority Board. I call to order a public hearing of the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority on Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 6:14 p.m. This is a public hearing for an entertainment facility license for Bradford Weddings and Events, which was noticed and opened on August 25th. The hearing was continued to today. Ms. Strutt, are we ready to proceed on this application today?
Yes, Mayor.
Will you please introduce the case and enter the evidence into the necessary documents?
And Madam
Before
Mayor,
that-
just as a preliminary kind of housekeeping item, Trustee Hagan is actually the landlord at this address, the LLC of which he's a member, And I believe that he would like to recuse himself just to avoid any appearance of impropriety on this matter. So I'll get, if we can give him the floor to make that announcement, that
Sure.
would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir?
I was going to simply just say that, yes, as potentially having financial interest, that I'm going to recuse myself
Okay.
from the discussion.
Thank you very much. Please note that Trustee Higgins has left. It's locked, Brad. It's got to go all the way up. Okay.
Ready?
Now I'll go back to what I was saying. Will you please introduce the case and enter into evidence the necessary documents?
Yes, Mayor and trustees, in your board packet for tonight is the application which was submitted to the town clerk's office, together with all the supporting documents for the Bradford Weddings and Event New Entertainment Facility application. The application is for an entertainment facility license at 333 Main Street, Unit C. The application information starts on page 101 in your packet, with the required diagram of the facility on page 140. The diagram shows the points of ingress and egress along with storage and sales areas. The intent of the applicant is to provide a venue for weddings and other events at this location. The liquor license would allow for the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink at this venue, and no alcohol may leave the premises with this type of license.
The application submitted to the town clerk together with supporting documents are hereby made part of the record. Any other documents presented to the authority during this hearing shall also be part of the record if a copy is given to the town clerk. Ms. Strutt, was notice properly posted and published for this matter?
Yes, the property was posted by the applicant on August 7th, and the posting remained up through at least August 25th. And the notice was published in the Times-Call newspaper on August 20th.
Thank you. This authority is to consider the needs and desires of the neighborhood. What evidence has been presented?
Included in your packet is a petition of residents and business members within the town of Mead in support of the application as submitted by the applicant. The applicant is present here tonight if the authority has any questions. And in addition, no comments have been received for or against this matter by the town clerk's office. If this license is approved, this would be the only entertainment facility license within the town of Mead limits.
Thank you. The applicant may make a presentation to the authority concerning the request liquor license application. After the applicant presents testimony, other interested persons will be provided an opportunity to address the authority. Ms. Deborah Bradford, you have the floor.
Hello. So we are so excited to be a part of Mead and to have an event center where I've been doing weddings for 30 years, so be able to bring weddings and events, retirement parties, birthday parties, maybe some concerts as well. Just a lot of fun in the downtown Mead area, and I hope you'll approve the license tonight.
Thank you. Is there any member of the public who would like to speak for or against this application tonight? Please come to the podium. Okay. Ms. Strutt, has the applicant demonstrated their right to possess the premise?
Yes, Mayor, a lease for the property was included in your board packet, and zoning of the property was reviewed by Alex Ailey, town planner.
Thank you. Did the town's investigation of the applicant disclose any reason why the applicant cannot hold the license they are requesting?
No. Prior to the hearing, the applicant has submitted all required documentation, including completion of all local fingerprinting and background check requirements for all of the applicants with ownership in the LLC.
Thank you. Do you have anything further to add, Ms. Strutt?
This hearing is for the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority to consider the application. The findings of this hearing would be created and forwarded to the state of Colorado for their consideration. Colorado does require approvals by both the local authority and the state before a liquor license can be issued.
Thank you. Do the trustees have any comments or questions tonight? Trustee Crane.
I think this is a fantastic idea for the business and for the town of Mead.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you, Mary. This public hearing is now closed at 6:20 p.m., and the Liquor Licensing Authority will not accept any additional testimony now. Is there a motion regarding the application before us? It is in your AIS.
So I have to go find it?
Mm-hmm.
Crap. I move to approve Resolution 53R dash, no, wrong one. Damn it. Thought I had the right one. That's close. Oh, wait.
Either page 101 or right before it.
I'm on 103.
Oh, you passed it.
I got it.
Read it.
There it is.
Is it this, Marcus? Is it this whole,
Yes. Trustee Cartwright, it is.
Oh, there it is. Oh, my gosh.
yeah, okay.
We have to read that whole thing. Oh, that's why I missed it. I was looking for a tiny little.
All right, I got it. I move to approve the application of Bradford Weddings and Events LLC for a new entertainment facility license based on the findings set forth in the staff report for August 25th, 2025 meeting, and based on the following additional findings. That applicant is of good moral character and not prohibited from holding a license, and that the premises and their location are suitable based on a review of the plans submitted, and that the petition submitted by the applicant, along with the testimony received at the public hearing, indicate that existing outlets are inadequate to serve the thirst needs of the neighborhood, and that there is a need and desire for entertainment facility license as measured by the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood. I further move to, 1, direct town staff to prepare the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority findings of fact for this matter in cooperation with the town attorney. 2, authorize the mayor and town clerk to execute the findings of fact. 3, direct the town clerk to notify the State of Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division of this approval. And 4, authorize the town clerk to issue the Town of Mead Entertainment Facility License to Bradford Weddings and Event LLC upon approval of the state and receipt of the state license.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Cartwright, excuse me just a second. May I amend your motion in the minutes to reflect that the staff report for the September 8th, 2025,
Yes, yes,
same second?
yes.
Same second?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mary, roll call, please.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. The time now is 6:23, and I'll reconvene the regular meeting of Board of Trustees. I'd like to say thank you to Ms. Bradford and her team for joining the town of Mead, and we look forward to many happy events in the town. So thank you very much. All right. All right, next we have a public hearing regarding Welker Farms planned unit development. For this hearing, we will first hear from staff, then the applicant may present. After the applicant, we will
Mayor,
take...
I'm sorry, before we, can we maybe just make sure that we reflect that we have ended the meeting of the Liquor License Authority and reconvene the regular board meeting, just for...
I move that we close the Mead Authority, Liquor Authority, and reconvene our normal meeting.
Okay,
I second.
thank you. That's why we have you. Now the time is 6:24, and I'll reconvene the regular meeting of Board of Trustees. I'm sorry, sir, it was not in my script.
Yeah.
And we'll bring back Trustee Hagan into the meeting.
That's great. There's been a motion and a second. Let's just make sure that we can do a roll call
Okay.
vote on that, please.
Roll
Mary.
call. Roll call, Mary.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
Trustee Hagan.
If I can vote on it, yes.
I think so, on reconvening. Because I'll put you back in right before it.
Mr. McCassin, can I reconvene now?
Absolutely.
Okay, for the minutes, the time now is 6:25, and I'll reconvene the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Agenda number 10, our public hearing. Next, we will have a public hearing regarding Welker Farms Plan Unit Development. For this hearing, we will first hear from staff, then the applicant may present. After the applicant, we will take questions or comments from the public, followed by the trustees. I will open the public hearing, and the time now is 6:25. I will ask that Colin Morales, our interim community development director, will present the staff report tonight. Sir, you have the podium.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. So tonight, I'm bringing forward for your consideration the Welker Farms Plan Unit Development, also referred to as a PUD. That's a great question. So the applicant for the PUD is David Merowitz, along with his team from Norris Design. The owners of the property are Welker Farms, LLC, as well as William Sears. And the property is approximately 34.5 acres in size. So here's a vicinity map to get you more acquainted with the location of the property. So as you can see, this is on the west side of I-25, just to the east of downtown. It's directly adjacent to Ames Park. Ames Park is directly to the west of this property, and it's on the north side of Welker Avenue. So this is a photo of the future land use map, which identifies the property in that deep red as downtown mixed use. So as you can see, the black outline of the property shows that the property is designated in the future land use map as downtown mixed use. It's also zoned as downtown mixed use. I just wanted to include this future land use map just to show you that, give you an idea of the vision of the downtown extending east on Welker from County Road 7 towards that freeway. Kind of makes that L shape and gives us more of an opportunity to allow downtown development outside of the existing downtown, just here on the west side of 7. So this is just a little more detail on the downtown mixed-use future land use designation. So DMU is intended for a concentrated uses of retail, service, office, restaurants, as well as a variety of residential types. DMU is intended to function as a pedestrian-oriented development style and also to provide community gathering places. And the subject property was zoned as DMU back in 2020, and it is currently vacant. And so the application tonight before you, as I said earlier, is that plan unit development overlay, which sits on top of the downtown mixed-use zoning and allows for some different types of uses and different densities and building heights and such. So I'm actually going to come back to this slide. I'm going to go to this one first. So this PUD before you, the Welker Farms PUD, is providing a mix of commercial and residential uses. So residential uses will include multifamily, single-family detached with some smaller lots, front-loaded and rear-loaded, as well as single-family attached, and as well as tighter setbacks. They're typically found in a more vibrant, pedestrian-oriented downtown development pattern, which is the goal of extending that downtown east across Welker, is to kind of encourage that downtown development and that pedestrian orientation. In exchange for some of the deviations that they're requesting from our code, the PUD establishes architectural standards, such as primary and secondary materials, as well as a color scheme, so that all the buildings will have a similar theme and look to them, as well as landscaping standards throughout the development, so all the landscaping will also mesh and flow together, and signage standards. So all the signage within the development will be the same. They'll meet all the same height requirements, design requirements, and those kind of things, just to create a more cohesive look and feel to the development. And then this PUD also acknowledges a future roundabout intersection on the eastern boundary of the property. It's shown in our comp plan as a transition point from the highway-oriented development along I-25, and then transitioning to that west downtown development. So I'll come back here to this slide. Hey, Marisol, could you kick it back one? Thank you. So you can see in that southeast corner there, there's that roundabout. So to the east of this property will be like highway commercial development, and then that roundabout's going to turn this the rest of Welker into all the way to County Road 7 into downtown development. So wider sidewalks, more pedestrian-oriented scale, and this development is the first to kind of kick that off. And so this is the planning area concept plan from the planned unit development. So the developer is proposing to split the property into 3 planning areas: planning area A, planning area B, and planning area C. As you can see, planning area A, they have designated land uses with each planning area as well. So as you can see with planning area A, the designated land use is commercial. So that property is designated for commercial because it's kind of that hard corner, if you will, from the roundabout to start that downtown development going towards the west. So to really kick off that kind of downtown feel, buildings up against the sidewalk, a lot of windows, fenestration, and some patio space. And then planning area B is to the west of that. That includes land uses such as commercial, multifamily, and a single family attached. So it allows for the option of commercial if there's enough commercial development interest. Then it also allows for some multifamily and single family attached uses if commercial development isn't interested in that western planning area. And then planning area C up to the north, that allows for planning multifamily, as well as single-family attached and single-family detached. So more residential as you kind of go along that gradient to the north up towards Feather Ridge. So decreasing in intensity and density. So getting in the review criteria, a planned unit development overlay is a type of special purpose zoning district. And it allows for modifications to the standards of the underlying zone district in exchange for provision of amenities and cohesive design elements that improve the overall development and create a more innovative or creative development than would otherwise be proposed under the existing zoning. And PUD overlays can be used to modify the standards of the underlying zoning district as long as they are consistent with the comprehensive plan, and as long as the development is found to be an improvement over what would otherwise be developed or proposed within that zoning district. So the establishment of a zoning designation is subject to review of the criteria that's outlined in your packet. It's also set forth in section 16.3.160E of the Land Use Code. So there's 6 criteria listed in there. Only one of those needs to be met for the proposed zoning change. Staff feels that this PUD proposal meets criterion number 6, which states that a rezoning to planned unit development overlay district is requested to encourage innovative and creative design and to promote a mix of land uses within the development. So staff finds that the proposed Welker Farms PUD is generally consistent with the comp plan, and it provides the following advantages over the underlying zoning as well as a traditional development pattern. As I mentioned earlier, that consistency of architecture, landscaping, and signage standards across the development. Whereas, if an individual developer came in with each property, they may design, their buildings in a different architectural style, use different signage, maybe do a different landscape design. So then you kind of have fragmented pieces within the development. This PUD allows for it all to be cohesive and follow the same standards, and just promote a more better looking development. This PUD also proposes a flexible mix of uses, which is more compatible with that type of downtown development that we're going for. with the zoning of this property. Something I really like about this, the PUD specifies a build-to line for buildings along Welker. So the goal of this is to really push those buildings up against the sidewalk on Welker, and then have the parking for those businesses behind the buildings. And so that's more consistent with your more traditional downtown development pattern, to promote people walking, sitting out on a patio, having a coffee or meal at one of the restaurants or coffee shops that may be there. And then this development also provides multiple roadway and trail connections, as well as an interconnected network of multimodal transportation. So the development will be required to put in a trail with this development. Right now, it's currently conceptually shown up along the northern portion of this property. And then the transportation network that they're putting in as well to serve the commercial developments, as well as the residential to the north, as well as that roundabout that I mentioned earlier. So staff also finds that the proposed PUD is generally consistent with the comp plan, provides the following advantages over underlying zoning and traditional development. It pays special attention to the future roundabout by incorporating landscaping and design standards. So within the PUD that's included in your packet, they included a design for a plaza along that northwest corner of the roundabout. So it includes some landscaping and site design standards that will be implemented when that portion of development is built out. The PUD adds diversity to the town's housing stock and provides for a range of housing products that are currently in limited supply in Mead. So it's allowing for that single-family attached, so duplexes, condos, smaller single-family detached, as well as an option for multifamily as well. And then it helps to further the goals of the 2018 comprehensive plan that are related to growth, housing diversity, and providing opportunity for economic development. So with that, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the PUD after a public hearing at their August 20th meeting, and staff recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the Welker Farms PUD, or Planned Unit Development. That's my presentation. I know the applicant is here as well, and they have a presentation prepared, and then I'm open for questions after that.
Yeah, thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
David, do you have a presentation? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor Whitlow, trustees, Town Manager Mitchell-Brink, town staff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. My name is David Meyrowitz, and I lead the applicant company for the development. I'm not with the owner of the land, but I'm the applicant developer, and I'm excited to present the Welker Farms PUD rezoning application to you. I've been doing business in Colorado since the mid-90s. I've seen the big positive changes in northern Colorado over the last 30 years. I've seen and I can feel the potential here in Mead. As Colin said, we had a Planning Commission hearing 3 weeks ago, approximately on August 20th, and the Planning Commission approved our application. We are here to ask you to confirm the approval. About 15 years ago, I saw opportunities to invest in and develop Colorado real estate, and so since then, I've been buying, planning, developing, and owning properties in Colorado. I'm impressed with the improvements to the infrastructure and the transportation systems. I see the economic growth of the state with a significant technology foundation now. And I think that the state's outdoor and recreational assets and amenities will continue to appeal to many demographic segments, including families, seniors, young families, singles, pretty much everybody. I was introduced to this Welker Farms property in 2021. I tried to buy it, but lost out to a buyer at the time. When that buyer decided not to go forward, I leaped at the chance to buy the property. I think this is a fabulous town. I think it's in a great location. It has great views and vistas, and I love the feeling of family and community in Mead. So our overall project is to develop this 34 acres into a livable, happy neighborhood for its families and homeowners, and to also bring some new retail to serve all of Mead's community. We're proposing approximately 4 to 5 acres of street front retail along Welker. And as Colin described, for the residential portion, our project proposes a mix of homes along Welker Avenue and then a mix of single-family and multi-family homes on the north part of the property to the floodplain area along the ditch. My team and I have spent a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time, over many calls and meetings, both online and in person, working with town staff to develop and then fine-tune the rezoning application. My approach, so I wanted to say that we want to develop a special project in Mead's downtown area. And your planning staff wanted the same thing, a special development for the designated downtown. Together with your staff, we arrived at a PUD that gives us, the developer, some additional rights to help achieve something special, and at the same time demands many benefits for the town. My approach for all the projects that I work on is to work collaboratively and cooperatively with the municipality. And it's important for me to end up with a project that everyone is happy with. You're happy with, I'm happy with, and for us all to be happy with the final outcome. So it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate being here. I look forward to answering all your questions, and I look forward to working with you in the town to bring this project to life. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
So with that, I'm going to ask Elise Applegate, who is part of the Norris design team, to make a more detailed presentation to you with our presentation deck. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight. As you said, my name is Elise Applegate. I work at Norris Design, and I'm a planner on the project. We have worked very closely with Mead throughout the process, along with, working closely with Mead and with David through Strategic Capital. We've also had JR Engineering weigh in on several civil engineering matters. So when this project first began, the most important thing in any PUD is to look at the comprehensive plan and really determine what the city has already envisioned for the area that we're looking to create a plan for. So as a part of the downtown mixed-use area, there are a lot of statements in the plan about that vision, statements about upholding the small town community character, respecting and sort of extending that historic gridded street network, making sure that the scale of development is integrated with the historic scale of downtown, ensuring a really pedestrian-friendly environment with tree-lined streets and buildings that create some interest along the street, minimizing visible parking so you're not just walking past a big parking lot. No one enjoys that. And really looking to sort of extend that downtown pattern out toward I-25 with a mix of uses, with higher density residences and office and retail. So that's what we came into the project with, and we pulled this image from the comprehensive plan, sort of outlining how our site fits within the illustration in the plan. So the big idea for the Welker Farm PUD is to create an area with sort of a modern Main Street charm. We know that Mead has these great bones as a small town, but we want to make sure that we're not sort of overstating it, keeping things, fresh and current with, modern architectural approaches that are still appropriate to the scale and aesthetic of the downtown area. So there are 3 design principles that we integrated into all of that work. One is blurred boundaries, making sure that we create really effortless connections between the residential and retail uses, making it easy to sort of walk through the neighborhood and have that experience. Creating spaces that will invite everyday gatherings, which we'll get to a little bit more later, but there's a lot of emphasis on designing common areas that encourage gathering. And then elevating heritage. We know that Mead is a rail town, and through the materials that are prescribed through this PUD, we try to give a nod to that heritage. So starting out with landscape standards, throughout the PUD, throughout the land that will be developed with the PUD, there are landscape standards related to minimizing non-essential turf to be water-wise, having a water-wise plant palette that is xeric and appropriate for the High Plains environment that we're in, making sure that spaces are still lush, though, with those live material minimums. And then along the east-west road that connects through the site north of Welker, there are some additional road enhancements to make sure that that's a really inviting pedestrian experience. We've also got standards on fencing and utility screening and parking lot perimeter buffers to ensure that there's some consistency among the design as homes are built or as businesses are built, and to create some visual screening between parking lots and streets, whether that be through a live planted barrier, sort of like what you see in the bottom right image, or decorative screens. We've also laid out site furnishings. Site furnishings are intended to sort of reinforce the character of Mead and give a nod to that railtown character. You see with some of the rust-colored finishes and wood finishes. We've also identified this color palette that's intended to be used throughout as a way to tie the various buildings and site furnishings together. There's also standards related to building materials. The PUD outlines high-quality primary, secondary, and accent materials, and essentially create standards that exceed code requirements for building with the primary materials such as masonry or a stucco to ensure that the buildings have really strong architectural character. An earth tone color palette is also encouraged throughout the community for a sense of cohesion. There are standards related to signage for both retail and residential community signage. Signs are intended to use neutral materials and support the modern Main Street aesthetic, helping residents and visitors navigate the community. And there are special standards related to illumination to make sure that there's a really high quality product of sign that's placed on the site. So keeping all of those design standards in mind, now we kind of want to walk through the plan and show you how they'll be applied. This image was used in Colin's presentation earlier, but you can see the roundabout at the southeast corner designated with that star, commercial planning area A right next to it, commercial and multifamily or single family attached planning area B a little further to the east, and then up north is our all residential planning area. And that was very intentionally laid out to focus the more intense use close to that roundabout, and then higher density residences along Welker Avenue, and then lower density options further to the north. Also along the north, there's a green dashed line that follows the ditch. That is a required plan in the Parks Open Space and Trails Master Plan and will be constructed along with any development within the neighborhood. We also worked closely with neighboring development to figure out road connections, how we'll connect to the south, because we know that development is going to happen on the south side of Welker Avenue as well. And looking ahead to any future development in the area to the north, we've already committed to a collector road on the east side of the site, and then one more northern connection that's a little more ambiguous, and we'll determine the best place for that as design progresses to make sure that it's a logical connection. One more important thing to note about any development along Welker Avenue is that there are approved street sections for improvements to Welker Avenue. So instead of the one lane in each direction that there is today, in the future there will be a landscaped median, one travel lane in each direction, parallel parking, a bike lane, and then 20 feet of landscape and sidewalk. So it's going to be significantly built out and able to, welcome people into the town at a different volume and provide that more active streetscape. We also note in this street section the 15-foot build to that Colin mentioned, essentially encouraging buildings to locate close to the street to create a pedestrian-friendly environment. So as we mentioned, commercial is permitted in the 2 planning areas along Welker Avenue. And within the commercial standards, we worked really closely with Mead planning staff to write standards for drive-through design to ensure that if a drive-through is proposed within this area, it's designed in a manner that sort of shields it from Welker Avenue and doesn't disrupt the pedestrian experience along that area with the building to the front and the drive-through and all the stacking toward the back. We also identified the area immediately adjacent to the roundabout as the perfect location for a pedestrian plaza and have standards related to requiring a communal outdoor gathering space right at that plaza with some furnishings and plantings to sort of create a natural gathering space at that key gateway to Mead. In addition to those standards around building placement and plazas, there are commercial architectural standards related to transparency, as Colin mentioned, making sure that there's big windows and bright open doors so you can see what's going on inside, and horizontal and vertical articulation, making sure that these aren't just large blocks, but rather broken out, creating an obvious base, middle, and cap of the buildings. And if buildings are longer than 50 feet, there are requirements for them to step in and out by several feet to sort of break up the feel. For multifamily standards, multifamily is permitted in that eastern part along Welker and further north. There are requirements if a 4th floor is proposed in any of these buildings, it would be required to be stepped back at least 6 feet along Welker Avenue. There are similar standards related to base, middle, and caps of buildings for vertical articulation. We're requiring 15% of the total site area be an outdoor recreation space. That could include things like pools, play areas, and that includes balconies to really encourage that private outdoor space that a lot of apartment dwellers really want. There are similar landscaping requirements throughout related to buffering parking lots, and then we also set out some parking requirements based on parking spaces per bedroom. Single-family attached and single-family detached homes are both permitted in the northern planning area, but only single-family attached along Welker Avenue with that intent to keep higher intensity uses closer to the road and create that activity. Within that, there are a lot of standards to ensure a really high quality of design for homes as well. Requirements related to minimum entry and front porch features, windows along major roads or windows along the road to create an inviting home, articulation and massing, things like requirements for some sort of projection like dormer windows, bay windows, front porches. And then we also have requirements related to exterior finishing and materials using those same materials that I touched on earlier. We also wanted to give you an idea of the lot layouts. This development does, or the PUD does provide the option for alley-loaded homes. And so we provided lot layouts for homes that have garages that are loaded from the front and also from the rear in the alley. So up here, we're looking at single-family detached alley-loaded and then duplexes and single-family homes with front-load garages. And then alley-loaded for townhomes and the single family as well, excuse me. All of these have parking standards, and specifically for any townhomes, there are also guest parking standards as well to ensure that there aren't any issues in the neighborhood with that. To wrap it all up, this PUD is doing a whole lot, but we wanted to sort of consolidate it. We are providing sort of branded architectural and landscape design and requiring that consistency throughout the neighborhood through materials, plant palette, and design guidelines. The PUD provides a mix of land uses with commercial, multifamily, and single family. It provides a pedestrian-friendly Welker Avenue and neighborhood connection road through building design, urban design, and landscape design. It provides enhanced drive-through design standards, new roadway connections, a trail connection along the north, an enhanced gateway right at that roundabout, and a diversity of housing options. And with that, we welcome any of your questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on this hearing. When you're recognized, please state your name and address for the board. You will have 3 minutes to address the board, and we ask that you please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Are there any comments from the public at this time?
I should have looked at the agenda before I came tonight. We didn't know this was going to be a hearing, but I'm Lee Peterson. We live in Feather Ridge. Our house backs up on this property, and we've known for a very long time it's been platted. We knew it's going to be developed. Right now we have a view of nothing, and we've loved that for 27 years. It looks like a beautiful development, and it's obvious they're putting care into the planning and all that. I have 2 particular concerns. Lighting is one. Right now we look basically at dark skies. We know lighting can be controlled, but we see the Mead Town Center out our back window. It's extremely bright. The lights on the side of the building are very bright. And I think that was a misfire by the staff. That building sticks out. You can see it from a long way away. So we would very much appreciate consideration about lighting, especially on the northern perimeter that faces us. We knew from the Planning Commission hearing, we knew there was discussion about 4-story buildings. That seems very tall for us. The land dips down behind us and then goes up a pretty steep slope to Welker. And if I picture, I actually thought about making a picture and holding it up there, and I didn't get that far, but I tried to picture what a 4-story building would look like coming up out of nothing, because there's north of that, there's going to be nothing, and probably indefinitely. And that seems like a lot. 3-story buildings are going to be a big change for us, but 4-story seems a lot. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Lee, could you state your address for the record?
Yeah, 134 Eagle Avenue.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Anyone here would like to speak on this? Jean?
My name is Jean Bratcher. I live at 3465 Elderberry Lane. And it looks really cool. I mean, it looks like a really cool little village, and I know it's really early in the planning process. And I really like, how it has the parking in the back and is planning for the sidewalks. I mean, it just looks like it'd be really cool. Seems like a very small site, though. And I just wonder, I'm sure that they've done their due diligence and had to do the research. Can they get this rented, And it probably is a long-term project. But just, there was that housing needs assessment, which I didn't read. That was in a couple of meetings ago. And I didn't read that because it's so much. But, is there really the need for this thing? And it'd be nice that because people are going to complain, why do we need that? Well, if people really understood what kind of housing is really needed in the future and what kind of retail, because in the presentation it looked like there was like an in and out, and we certainly don't want like a fast food row and a strip mall. that would just be horrible, right? So those were just my concerns, is really is the data there that supports having that extreme high density? I think it is, but I'd like that to be really public knowledge so people don't complain. And then just what kind of commercial would they expect to go in there? So, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Do any of the trustees have comments or questions at this time? Trustee Hagan.
2 questions. And this might be for Colin or the applicant. Are any of the improvements to Welker that you showed the full build-out cross-section, are any of those improvements being put in with this development? Is the south half, or the north half being built by you guys? So 2 lanes each way and all the landscape and everything?
Yeah, I can take that. So we'll determine that at the time of plat, but they would be responsible for the north half of Welker. So we'll determine
For the full, build out cross section.
Yes, is that the north half? Yeah, but yeah, we'll determine phasing, timing, all of that at the platting stage.
Okay. Second question. Planning area B includes, is it attached residential? That's not going to be along Welker though, right? It doesn't distinguish that in the material you presented, but you say you want a small offset for storefronts and not parking, but you don't want residential with short offsets along facing Welker. Is that safe to say, or is that a possibility under this zoning?
So single-family attached would be an option in planning area B, and so that it would have to adhere to that 15-foot buildable area. So it could be set back, about 15 feet to allow for like a small yard or something of that nature. But it also could have, a front.
So that
stoop.
could back to Welker.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was going to be more of a commercial, and then maybe there'd be a second layer, or another residential would be behind that, but.
Yeah, and so there is the option for commercial in planning area B as well, if there's development interest in more commercial, but it does allow for single family attached as well. So that could very well develop that way as well.
Trustee Franz?
Colin, question for you first. PUD, can it be designed any way we want? Right now, what you're presenting is a PUD that does multifamily, single family attached, single family detached, and commercial. Can that PUD also just be, for example, commercial and single family detached? Or do you have to encapsulate all of those components?
A PUD could have any, modification to the zoning district within reason. So yes, it could only include those items that you mentioned.
Okay, so the only real changes that we're doing then is going from a downtown MU, and you're adding this PUD, which gives you all this housing, and just the housing basically is what's different, right? The original DMU already allowed you to have commercial there.
Yeah, and the original DMU also allows you to have multifamily as well.
Yeah.
So the PUD just sets, design standards, and then they're going up slightly in gross density as well as up slightly in maximum height as well.
And this is all sitting on a 35-acre parcel.
Yeah, 34.5, yeah.
Well, I need to go on record right now with this. I am absolutely not in favor of multifamily there. Absolutely not. I think that just takes away from the small town feel. I can make it look really nice in pictures, and I appreciate that. That's okay. But the reality of it is you putting 4-story buildings in here in a compacted area like that. It does not, in my view, fit with the commitment that we have to our constituency that we'll keep it in a small town feel. So I'll just put it out right now, I am totally opposed to any of that multifamily stuff in Mead at this point. So if it comes to that, my vote's going to be a no on that. And I appreciate what you're trying to do. I just don't think we're ready for townhouses and condos and apartments yet. Thanks.
Trustee Crane?
Is this time for comments, not just questions, but comments also? Okay. These comments aren't just mine, but some other residents here in Mead that have been talking to me about this type of situation. The people have been wanting Mead to grow in like businesses, restaurants, services, retail, things like that. Because all we do is look around and see subdivisions popping up. Homes, 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 people, 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 but no businesses. Changing this from the DMU to the PUD, the only difference is that now we can have multifamily townhouses, apartments. I'm just afraid that the 4-story apartments are going to pop up and be filled with people, but the commercial front is going to flop, and there's not going to be any businesses there. That's my big problem with this. I just don't think, again, that we're ready for giant apartment buildings and townhouses.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
I have to agree with Herman. I do not like the idea of the multifamily or even the attached right along Welker. I think that that's prime retail commercial right there. And that to put homes there would be a disservice in the sense of people want more businesses here. People want to see those open. And if we put a bunch of houses along there, we're basically taking what I see as prime retail and spaces from that being able to go forward. I would also say that I don't really like the idea of 4-story buildings right when you come off of I-25 either. Otherwise, I like the overall concept. I like, again, the parking behind the buildings and stuff like that. But it is a pretty small plot of land. And I just don't see how 4-story multi-family buildings fit on that without them looking completely out of place.
Trustee Cartwright.
I'm going to go on record with agreeing with Trustee Shands and Mayor Pro Tem Harris. 4-story apartments is just going to be too tall. We see a 3-story building right down here, and it stands above every other building in the town, visible from Feather Ridge because of its height. My gut would say if you're going to do something like this, put the single families along the borders and put the multifamily short buildings in the middle, so that it slopes up and it's not blocking the view that we would have if we were looking at this potentially. I like the design of everything. It reminds me of kind of a modern old feel. I don't know how to say that properly, but I think that if we have the choice, I mean, I'm not against multifamily, but short 2-story buildings. Even shared buildings, shared housing. I don't think we can stop it, can we? I think isn't the laws now that we can't prevent multifamily housing? Is that how it's written? I mean, we can't. I'm asking this as a.
No. I'm not aware. We can stop it.
Yeah, if I remember in the last session, there was a whole thing about not.
I think you're thinking of the mandatory ADU requirement.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so, but anyway, I'm just thinking we need to keep that area shorter. I just feel like it would be too big if it goes up to the sky. So that, I just want to be on record saying that.
Trustee Adams.
And then I will also go on the record as well for saying the same thing that Mr. Cartwright just said. 4-story is just something we don't need in that area at this time. If it were shorter, 2-story, I think we would have a better impact with the residents as well as what you guys are trying to do. I do like the design, the layout. It's a great concept, but the 4-story part is just a little overwhelming, I believe.
I just wanted to add one more thing. I mean, the land does slope down, and I think if there's a suggestion over there is if you moved those apartment buildings back further where they were lower, it's like when you drive into Longmont on 119 and there's those housing, but the road's above them and they're down here and they just don't look nearly as imposing, I guess, from that perspective. I just think even a 3-story building right off of Welker would be way too much. Would be too much. 4 would be way over the top. I think if you did put them back further into the subdivision where it was a little lower, and they didn't seem as jutting up like, I don't know, like high rises in downtown Denver, it would look better. So,
Trustee Hagan.
I agree with the latter part of that. With all the relief on that lot, I think you could get the 4-story buildings in there maybe not right up front like you're saying, but they could work fine and not stick out. This happens to be like a high point where they put the 3-story building, so it does stick out. And these guys are professionals at this. If there wasn't a market for multifamily, they wouldn't be building it. They wouldn't be in business very long if they did that. So they've done all the work. They know that it's going to sell. They're going to have success here. I think we do need more multifamily, and that's a good spot for it. It's the natural transition from commercial to higher density multifamily, and then single family next to it. It's just how they do it. So I think it fits for where it's going. And other than single family homes up against Walker, that's the one thing I can't get my arms around. So,
Trustee Schranz.
I just add on a comment to that. I hear what Trustee Hagan is saying, and with all due respect, I really don't care if the developer can make money at this or not. At this point, my interest is with the town and its constituencies. I would be in favor of single-family detached. That would be the only thing I would add from a PUD standpoint. I'm still not at all comfortable, and nobody I talk to is comfortable about having multifamily here yet. I don't think we're there yet.
I'm going to ask the applicant and Colin if you have any feedback for what you've heard tonight. And we have discussed multifamily, diversity of housing. That's what it's on our comp plan. That's what the community. Yeah, it's great.
that.
Yeah, but I would want. I mean, this is what we're. That's our guide is the comp plan, and they followed it to the T. So, I want to know what we're going to do next time if we're not adhering. Well, we're not doing that. Not the whole thing. So if we're looking at something that was already brought by the community years ago, and these folks have been working on it for many years, based on what the comp plan says, they're coming in front of us based on what the community wants, and we are deciding that our comp plan doesn't work.
I don't think that's true.
You don't?
No, I don't think that's true. I mean, downtown mixed use, I don't think we're telling them that they are going outside the bounds of downtown mixed use necessarily. No.
You're talking about location?
I don't understand how we're going against our comp plan by me saying that I would like to see retail along Walker.
Yeah,
how
that's
is
fine.
that against our comp plan?
Yeah.
There isn't. It isn't. There's nothing that I'm saying that's against our comp plan.
Our comp plan calls that a DMU right now.
And
So that's the comp plan. Changing it with the PUD is going outside the comp plan. We're making a change there. So if it stays DMU, I have no problem. That's within the comp plan, and that works for the town of Mead. But you start adding stuff and you start bending some of these things back and forth. And I appreciate, with all due respect to the development team, you guys have done a great job. I'm not at all shooting the arrows in that direction. But the overall thing is that we're just not there yet. And the DMUs are there for a reason, to bring all that commercial. That's a gateway road. Welker's coming into Mead. Everybody's coming off the highway. That's where you want your commercial. I agree with Gene that I don't want a row of fast foods going in there. I don't want to see another Starbucks and McDonald's and In-N-Outs and Chick-fil-A's rolling in there, because that's what those kinds of housings bring in, because it's the kind of retail that is attractive to people who are in those kinds of housing, with all due respect. And I don't think that's the kind of retail that we're looking for. We're looking for retail that brings in some good tax dollars as well.
Colin, you have the floor.
Yeah, so just so we're all on the same page, DMU currently does allow for multifamily. So this PUD is not proposing adding multifamily to that. It's already allowed within the DMU district. This PUD is proposing increasing the gross density of the property as well as the building heights. So it's not proposing adding multifamily as a land use. But be that as it may, I'm hearing consensus from the trustees that you have concerns over where the multifamily is located, where the single family is located, that commercial strip along Welker, as well as the building heights. So I'll lean on Marcus, and I'll let the applicant step in if they disagree. But I would suggest we continue this public hearing, let us go back to the drawing board, take what we heard from you guys tonight, take a look at this PUD, and see what we can change and what we can come up with as a compromise, and then bring it back to you guys, show you what we've discussed, what we've looked at, what we changed, and then hear from you then, if that sounds reasonable.
I think that's a good suggestion, but I would also defer to the applicant and the applicant team in terms of what they would prefer to do. I mean, I think Colin's absolutely right. Multifamily is a use by right in the DMU zone district right now, and the land development code allows, again, as a use by right, multifamily to be constructed at a maximum height of 40 feet. This PUD is only proposing a maximum increase of 14 feet. They're going from 40 to 54 feet. So it's up to you to decide if that's a material increase or not. But I mean, I would defer to the applicant and the applicant team to see if they would request a continuance of the hearing rather than having you proceed to vote on the PUD this evening. I mean.
Come on, David.
Can I ask a question real quick? Can I ask you as the developer and the team, are you opposed to having 3-story multifamily?
So what we're trying to do, and I take Colin's suggestion that we continue this, so I'm okay to do that. But if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind addressing some of your comments and answering your questions specifically. In today's market, I think that multifamily builders are looking to provide higher quality buildings with more amenities. And typically, you're going to get an ability to provide more amenities and to provide a higher quality building, which is typically requested for higher ceiling heights, which is one of the reasons that we're asking for an increased height. We think it will lead to a higher quality multifamily development. The multifamily, I would say, this is a long-term plan that we're asking for. The multifamily may never be built if there's no demand in Mead. It may be built in 10 years. We don't know. I do not think that a 3-story building will bring the kind of downtown and the kind of retail use and the kind of retail activity that I'm hearing the town is desiring. As has been said, we have tried to follow the comp plan as religiously as we could. We've had a lot of interaction with town staff, going back and forth with making sure that this meets the comp plan, making sure it meets sort of the long-term desires and plans of the town. And we thought we actually came up with a good plan, and it sounds like everyone likes sort of the overall branding and design. There are just some elements that you're struggling with. So I'd like to address some more of those if I could. I think if you want retail along Welker, you have to bring what you call rooftops. Rooftops, whether it's houses, townhouses, duplexes, or apartments. We cannot guarantee that there is going to be a demand for retail along the entire length of our Welker Avenue frontage. So we would like that. That's a very profitable development and activity for us as developers. But I do not want to build commercial or retail that is empty. That would be worse than not having anything. But if we want more commercial, we need more people. And I think that part of our approach is to provide a balance of number of people, a balance of housing type, and to try to make sure that it all balances and is in, melds with what is currently in Mead and what I'm understanding Mead wants for the future. As has been said, the current DMU does allow multifamily. It does allow a height of 40 feet. You do have a multifamily zoning that allows 47 feet. And we are asking for the possibility of a higher, 7 feet, so 54 feet, but again, to accommodate market trends and higher quality desires. It may not be built to 54 feet. It may be built to 50 feet. We don't know, but our best understanding now is to try and give us that flexibility to allow as high a quality project as we could. We are far from other homes. We're about 1,600 feet from the homes to the north. We're about 500 feet from the homes to the west, and there's, of course, no homes to the east of us. And so I think with respect that it's going to be difficult for people who are in those homes to be able to tell the difference between 40 or 47 feet or 54 feet or whatever it ends up being. And again, we're talking about a long-term plan. We don't want to come back in 3 years and say things have changed. We're trying to provide a longer-term vision. And we're trying to meet, again, the town's comprehensive plan, which is what we understood was the town's sort of vision itself. I guess in terms of whether there will be single-family attached along Welker or not, it's giving flexibility. I've seen many very beautiful multi-family, sort of single-family attached projects on main roads. Again, maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. We don't know sitting here. We're actually in not a great market, and so we have to try and anticipate what the future will be and provide flexibility so that we can respond to market demand and market trends. So I will take Colin's suggestion to continue, but I would like to leave you with those thoughts of mine and understand, as I said, we want to collaborate and we want to cooperate with the town, but I think it's really important that you understand that we took direction from the town's written comprehensive plan, and which allows multifamily, allows retail, etc. Thank you very much.
Okay. Trustee Crane.
It says here that the PUD allow, for 600 dwelling units. What would it be if it stayed DMU? Because you said there was a height restriction and a density restriction.
Yeah, so it'd be the current DMU dwelling unit is max is 14, so it'd be whatever 14 times 34.5 is. I don't know off the top of my head. Thank you.
Yeah,
so if developed under the current DMU zoning, it would be 483 units versus the 600 proposed in this PUD.
Okay, so you said between the DMU and the PUD, it's still mixed family or multifamily housing and commercial. So if you leave it as a DMU and build it that way, then it just keeps those really tall 3- and 4-story buildings down, and you still could have multifamily housing there, and you just don't pack as many people in there. You only have 480 instead of 600. I don't see why you can't just go forward with that, except for it probably comes down to they make less money. So even if there was a continuance, my vote would probably still be no.
Okay, so I hear that we're going to continue it. Is there needs to be a date certain or a date to be determined?
Yeah, there needs to, if we're going to continue this hearing on the PUD, there needs to be a date and time certain.
Okay.
And I would defer to staff and to the applicant in terms of what is a reasonable amount of time. But I would think that we would want at least, I mean, I'm looking at Colin, but I would say we'd want at least maybe, 2-3 months in order to, I would defer to the applicant team. Depending on the type of amendment, I don't believe it would have to go back to the planning commission. But I don't know. I mean, I'd look to the folks from Norris Design or David to Colin, you tell me what time frame makes sense.
Yeah, I think your assessment of 2 to 3 months would be correct. I would advise either that first meeting in November, or that first meeting in December. I don't believe we have a meeting at the end of November because of Thanksgiving. But
We do have a meeting the end of November.
We do. So yeah, I'd advise either the first in November, second in November, or the first in December.
A short window. It's only 2 months, if even. Okay. Is your developer in concurrence with that time?
I'll let them. November. So that would be the 10th, I believe. November 10th.
Either November 10th or the 24th are the 2 meetings in November, the 2 dates.
10th. Sounds like they're like November 10th at 6 p.m.
Okay, would anybody like to make a motion to authorize moving forward with ordinance number 1087 or a continuance? Please make that motion now.
What was the options?
Moving forward with 1087 or move for continuance to November 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
I make a motion that we continue voting on the ordinance number 1087 to approve the conditions, the rezoning of the Welker Farms property.
Or continue the public hearing until November 10th, 2025.
Continue the public hearing.
Yeah, 6 p.m. here at Town Hall.
Does that suffice?
Yes, at 6 p.m. here at Town Hall.
Okay.
November 10th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Mary. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Dave.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Schrantz. Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. All right, thank you, David. Thank you for your team for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. And thank you, Colin, for your presentation, and thank you for your presentation.
Maybe if you provide an elevation of the subdivision or something, just to show how it steps down and it's not it's not going to stick up and be a ridiculous sore thumb. Might help everybody visualize.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you very much. We'll move on to our committee appointments. Are you ready? Okay, all right. Next is our Planning Commission appointment of Jean Bratcher, who is in the audience tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Tonight I'm also here to propose nominating a Planning Commission alternate member. So just to give you a quick overview of the Planning Commission. So they're in an advisory role to the board on planning and land use related concerns. So they're really charged with being the kind of the leaders of the comprehensive plan and the champions of our town comprehensive plan. And then, they make recommendations to the board on land use decisions such as preliminary plats, planning developments like we just heard, conditional use permits, things of that sort. They're composed of 5 regular members along with 2 alternates. They serve 4-year terms with no term limits. And they're appointed by the Board of Trustees. To be eligible to be a Planning Commission member, you need to be a qualified elector, you need to have been a resident of the town of Mead for at least 12 months, and you need to have an interest in planning or land use matters within the town. There we go. So as our planning commission currently sits, our chairman is Karen Peterson. Our chairman pro tem is Ryan Sword. And then we have 3 other regular members that include Charles Geringer, William Jorgensen, and Chad Rademacher. We currently have 1 alternate commissioner, that's Timothy Corliss. And then we have a currently vacant seat on the alternate, as an alternate commissioner, which is obviously why we're here tonight. So that seat has been vacant since the end of June. That seat was vacated by now Commissioner Rademacher when he was appointed from an alternate seat to a regular commission seat. So we put out an application period for the alternate commission position. We posted it on town social media as well as in the Mead Messenger. We had a deadline of August 4th. By that deadline, we had 2 applicants. Only one of those applicants, Jean Bratcher, met all of the eligibility requirements. So Jean is a qualified elector. She has been a resident of the town of Mead for at least 12 consecutive months. She has attended at least 2 planning commission meetings, the July 16th as well as the August 20th planning commission meetings. And she has an interest in serving her community by serving on the planning commission. So staff recommends the appointment of Jean Bratcher as an alternate planning commission member. We've also invited her to be here tonight, give you a little introduction to who she is and why she's interested to serve on the planning commission. So I'll ask Jean to step up and give an introduction. Thank you.
Wrote a little thing so I wouldn't ramble. So, good evening, trustees. I'm excited to, for the appointment for the planning commission. I've been involved in different things with the town for quite a while, and finally thought it was time to step up and be official. In the 9 years that I've lived in Mead, I've seen a lot of changes, both in our community and in the Front Range in general. And I'd like to think I know a little bit about the trends and challenges and realities in land use. I love, looking at other communities and kind of what's going on in the world. I like to, but there's also the complex balancing act required to protect and preserve what we love about our small town life, but we have to evolve with the future. So, whether it's the trends that people want in their housing or just demographics in general. So I like to ask a lot of questions to really understand the big picture and hopefully foster good communication, so people kind of understand why a vote was made or the reasoning behind something. Because, everybody has an opinion, but that doesn't mean that, in a room of 10 people, you've got 10 opinions, right? So I look forward to working with everyone, and hopefully this is a good thing. Thanks.
Thanks, Jean. And there's a motion in your packet tonight for appointing Jean Bratcher. I would recommend a motion.
I move to appoint Jean Bratcher as the alternate planning commissioner for the remaining portion of the 4-year term expiring December 31st, 2026, and I further move that Ms. Bratcher's appointment to the planning commission is effective immediately.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Cartwright?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Schranz?
Yes.
Trustee Hagan?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow?
Yes. Thank you very much, Jean, for stepping up. You appreciate your time. Next, we'll move on to our second public comment. We have no further general business, so this brings us to this agenda item tonight, which would be for any item, whether it is on the agenda or not. We'll follow the same guidelines previously stated. I will call on individuals in order which they have signed in. Again, I ask all speakers and audience members to treat one another with respect and dignity. Ms. Strutt, who is the first?
Jeff Engelman?
Okay, sir.
My name is Jeff Engelman. My wife Diane and I own several properties in Mead.
Jeff, could you state your
Our home is
address?
at 2672 Grace Way. It's the closest property and completely or nearly surrounded by the North Mead Place proposal. This was the Eberls' prior home. The Eberls have North Mead Place under contract with the developer. When we bought the property, Mark Epperl showed us several concepts adding more 2.5 acre home sites like the ones on Grace Way. Large lot estate lots would be wonderful, but I was also content with the comp plan's designation for the smaller 1 acre lots. We bought, made repairs, renovated, added 2 outbuildings at a substantial value according to the county assessor. We made significant investments based on the comp plan. We would have not have done this if we would have known of the proposed change. I am pro-property rights, but in this case, Mark and Jackie will be benefiting greatly, while the surrounding property owners will experience a significant loss. The Eberls created and sold the assistant development with the expectation that more of the same would be added. The Planning Commission should respect the existing comprehensive plan that was created with community involvement. Changes to the plan should be minimal and minor. The proposed changes from large lot residential to single-family residential is not minor. The lots on 2 sides are estate side lots with 2.5 acres or larger. Homeowners in the Sorrento side or of the development have paid premiums on their home sites for those lots because they're overlooking 1 acre lots. My house square footage is larger than some of the lots being proposed. Think about that. That's just wrong. I have requested a meeting with the town manager and the acting director, community director 5 times without success. Don't know why. Town should respect open communication. Public time on committees to help develop plans like the comp plan should be respected. You're not going to get anybody to help you do these comp plans if you're not going to follow them. I was on the Open Space Committee from 2004 to 2011 and helped designate the Litzenberg conservation easements. Since then, we have lost our way for open areas. Please keep our area open. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Strutt, who's next?
Next is Melina Halek, and just for the board to know, our internet appears to have dropped the Zoom link.
Okay.
Currently, but we still are recording. We won't have the video recording.
Okay. Thank you.
out
Ma'am,
right now.
ma'am, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Melina Halleck, and I live at 2688 Grace Way. And I'm here also to talk about the contradictions that I found in the new, the comprehensive plan amendment. So I read the original town's comprehensive plan, and the notes that I found that I love, and that's the reason we moved here, is the plan recognizes the need to move forward with diversification of housing types. It provides a roadmap for how the town wishes to grow and develop over the next 20 years so that Mead can continue to remain a tightly knit community while offering beautiful open space and exceptional quality of life. The town continues to grow and develop. It is important to implement and maintain the existing design guidelines mandated by the town's land use code, LUC, to ensure that all new development is aligned with expressed community desires and compatibility with the character of the surrounding area. And then the land use categories from RR, where the large lot, low density estate type homes are put there because they want to discourage leapfrog developments and ensure that the land develops in an orderly and progressive manner. LLR lots, which are large, low density, and are intended to respect the lands that are already platted within the town or adjacent to the town limits. The plan envisions these lands to remain as large lots. So yes, these are all wonderful things that have been set in the original comprehensive plan. Openness and large residential lots, 70. Recording in progress.
Okay.
Anyway, you have the amendment, and you can read for yourselves the contradictions. I just want to bring the last one, the one contradiction to light is the last one. The analysis of improvements or additions to public facilities necessitated by the proposed change and an evaluation of the impacts of the proposal on surface transportation system, including streets in adjacent neighborhoods, bicycle, pedestrian travel, and proposed major streets. So the encouraging alternative modes of transportation, walking, biking, and future transit. Plan supports reduced local traffic congestion. Where this development is Highway 7 and 66. People cannot ride their bikes, bus, what bus. There's already over 200 homes slated south of there, and to bring in more people, more cars, it's just going to add so much to that intersection. It's actually very scary that isn't looked at more diligently. And I know you're going to look at it very diligently, so I thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Strutt, who is next? Okay, thank you. Sir, you have the phone. Please state your name and address for the record.
Bob Danos, 2684 Grace Way. Mayor, Board of Trustees, I know this is going to be coming before you in the near future. That's why I'm here tonight to talk about it. As my neighbors have just spoken about, I'm the president of our Eden Reserves Homeowners Association. There are 8 units in this HOA. We are all concerned about the North Mead Place development. The big items that we're dealing with here are 136 units in our backyard. You were just talking about four stories, 900 feet away from other developments. This is going to be across our lake. The other thing that's coming into play with this development is the changing of the open space, trying to use the lake and open space that we have access to. I was told as well, as Jeff was told, that this development was going to remain large lot residential. That was the goal of the developer when I spoke to him before I bought my home there 7 years ago. I think our situation that we're dealing with here is the habitat for wild eagles, blue herons, geese, ducks, and many other wild animals are in flux, and they're going to have issues with 136 units built around that lake. I also have issues with changing the flavor of Mead. You guys spoke of that earlier tonight, mentioning that you know the flavor of Mead has been a small community. Everything is going to change. Development is inevitable. I'm aware of that. I'm a real estate broker by trade. I've done developments even in the town of Mead here. And I understand the situation that you're dealing with here, but I really think you need to think about the concept that the town is looking for and what's happening in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Ms. Strutt, anyone else? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone else here in the audience that would like to speak to the Board of Trustees?
Don Smith, 325 Main Street. I'm not going to comment on all the land development we're talking about. I disagree with Brad, though, on 4 stories over there. Anyway, I want to talk about the flyer that went out for more tax increase for police. At the meeting, Coffee with the Mayor, it was brought up by a man named Ted. Can't remember his last name, but he was spot on. So I don't have the flyer, but it's very misleading. One officer on the road at a time. We don't have enough officers. Even if there's one officer on the road, surrounding municipalities and the sheriff will back up or come to any situation we need. So it's never really one officer. I've talked to the police chief about this before. It's never really one officer. Every municipality helps each other. So it's never one lone officer. So we're not going to have to worry about crime because we have one officer. Secondly, it says 10 arrests on that flyer. 10 arrests, it gives you the assumption that 10 people are transported to Greeley, which takes about 3 hours. Very misleading. According to one of the police officers I spoke to, there was 1 arrest during that period and 9 summons. So only 1 arrest because it was violent people that we arrest. The rest of them get summons. Very, very misleading. The police station south of 66 on 7, 2.5 acres, police chief has already said it's not going to be big enough for expansion. So it shouldn't even be a consideration in the near future for any kind of development. Traffic problems, everybody knows that once I-25 is done, traffic problems are going to be far less. And resource officers, this has come to my attention just recently, and I don't know if it's true, and I think some of you ought to look into this. St. Vrain has offered to pay for 2 of the resource officers for the new schools. If that's true, why are we putting it in the ad that we need money for police for these schools? Now, to top it off on this whole situation, this was all paid for by the town by taxpayer dollars, which is totally inappropriate. This should not be an advertisement paid for by the citizens for more taxes to promote this kind of situation, and under all these false pretexts to top it off, and with no rebuttal on the whole situation. There ought to be somebody looking into this, why we are paying for something that's advertised for an increase in tax on the 3rd try. We've already tried twice. It's already been put back twice. Now we're rewording it and coming back with a totally false advertisement. And we have commercials out there with police doing interviews to try to also get, which is also paid for. They're on our time when they're doing these commercials. So the taxpayers are paying for this. This is really inappropriate.
Thank you. Anyone else here in the audience that would like to speak? All right, we'll turn it over to the town trustees. Anyone?
No, there were 2 people that raised their hand online.
They can't have, yeah, they can't. No, no. Nope. Only you have to be here in town. Okay. Town trustees. Trustee Hagan, you have something? You have a question? You have a report to give out? Okay. All right. Well, I want to say tonight was a great thing. So thanks to everyone who came to the opening of our community center that we've been working on for 4.5 years, or almost 5 years, more than that probably. The fall district meeting is coming up for CML, and I think that Trustee Schrantz and Trustee Adams are coming, and Helen and I will be there. Our biggest event will be Saturday, Community Day. Helen already mentioned that. And next Saturday, our Gold Star Families Memorial Dedication Ceremony. And the following Saturday is our flag retirement. So if you have a worn flag or a torn flag, please take it over to the police area. There is a box over there to take it to, and then we will retire it as it should be. So, and with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Schrantz.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes, the September 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned at 7:48. Thank you very much for attending.